Welcome to Botches Offroad. Join us as we talk about everything from gear reviews to trail stories, tent camping to rock landing, and all things to do with the outdoors. Today we're here with Alex and Mark, and we're going to talk a little bit about Mark's rig, what his plans are, what he's running, and yeah.
Well, Mark, what you driving?
I'm driving a 2014 Tacoma, but originally I was driving a 09 Tacoma. That was last year. That was a nice little truck at the time. It was black. The only major thing we had done to it was rims and tires and then a roof rack, and then we hodgepodged a comm system into it.
What roof rack did you have on that?
That was a front runner. Don't remember exactly which one. I want to say it was a Slim 2. Had different models for the Tacoma, so I don't remember which one it was off the top of my head, but it was a nice little rack. I mainly used it to throw my spare tire up there at the time.
Did you you said did you run any kind of suspension on that?
That one was all stock height.
Oh, really?
Yes, that was a bone stock Tacoma.
What size tires were you running on that then?
I think we declared it was 32s. Originally, I thought I bought 31s, but at the time of trying to order them on the website, it kept giving me different tires. So I think we declared it was actually 32s.
Yeah, they were 32s.
Oh, yeah. I'm assuming you didn't have to do any body mount chops or anything like that with 32.
We kind of smashed and pinch welds and did a little trimming.
Okay, so you'd have to do a little bit just for 32s. Yeah.
Yes, and it's still rubbed.
Yeah. Damn.
He just needed to cut his fender off, man.
Yeah.
What size wheels were those?
17s.
Oh, okay. So typical. Okay.
They're the ones that currently on my truck currently.
Oh yeah. Okay. Those are nice. What's your difference between other than the year from your black one to this one now? You did suspension on this newer one, right?
The newer one came with suspension. It was a Bilstein's. I don't remember exactly which one it is. I've been told it's actually Tundra instead of Tacoma shocks, though.
Oh,
the shocks are 5100s, but I'm pretty sure the springs are Tundra springs.
That makes sense. Yeah. Do you have a upgraded front bumper on that?
Yes, but I want to get a different one. So the hooky Offroad bumpers are the ones on the truck currently. Mm-hmm. Doesn't come with a winching mount plate, so I really want to get a different one because of that.
I mean, it doesn't even leave enough room behind it really for a winch. Like it's pretty tight and flat.
Oh, how heavy is that? Is that kind of offset those Tundra springs a little bit?
I don't think it really does.
No. Are you stiff in the front then? Or is it still riding pretty good?
Alex thinks it's a little stiff in the front.
But you think it's all right?
I think it's all right, but he's also comparing it to his 4Runner that didn't really have great shocks a while ago.
True. I mean, it looks like the body roll on Alex's truck in general just seems like he's got a softer setup than that anyway, like softer springs. So
that's because I don't have a sway bar.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't know you took those all out.
Yeah, I don't have sway bar.
Yeah, you took out that 4 months ago.
Oh,
something like that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mark, you're running sway bar, right? You got one.
Yes, I am.
Do you plan on doing anything like a quick connect or a quick disconnect or anything like that?
I'm intrigued by the one that by I think it's Apex.
Yeah, Apex Designs.
Yeah, they got one I'm intrigued by. They did a lot of Toyotas recently. They just came out with it in the last year now.
Yeah, I've thought about doing something like that on mine at one point, but probably won't need that for a little bit.
Yeah.
What's really cool about the Apex Designs is the way that his Tacoma works, the sway bar's in the front of the shock. So with a standard disconnect, it would leave the sway bar rubbing against the springs. But the Apex Design, it stays connected the whole time. It just allows it to free float.
Yep.
Is kind of my understanding. I mean, I'll put the link to them in the show notes so other people can check them out. But they're pretty cool the way they work. It literally, there's just a big switch on your sway bar disconnect that you pull down. I mean, it's really cool.
Huh, I'll have to look into that and see if there's anything for an FJ or anything like that. So you're running Tundra Springs 5100s, and you have an upgraded bumper, but you're going to switch out. Are you running any kind of rock sliders, any kind of skid plates, any armor underneath?
I got my stock skid plate currently. I do want to upgrade to better skid plates for next year's trip with MST group for Leatherwood. Rock sliders, I need to upgrade as well. They are mounted to the body instead of the frame. And we've had to unbend it back because I think we hit rocks the one time up in Drummond the first time. And we dented it just right where we couldn't open the door, so we had to step on it to put it back into place.
I just had to do that. I just had to do that with my FJ's stock steps on there that I was using as sliders. I pivoted on like a tree trunk or a tree branch or something that was on my right side, and it bent my steps up to the doors. So I just had to stand on it. Perks of being like 300 pounds is I could just bend them right back down.
Yeah.
The secret to not bending things so you can't open your door is don't have rock sliders, and also have your truck so rotted out and just put plastic over it so it looks good. That way when you hit a rock, it just pounces back into place.
Yeah. For sure. I'll put that into my notes for next time. My next vehicle. Make sure it's rusted out. Check.
And then you just have to add a self-tapper every once in a while to hold the plastic on.
Yeah, that'll do it. Are those rivets? Oh, man. No. Those are sheet metal self-tappers from a roof.
Shit box for the win.
Yep. Hey, man, if it works, it works. So, okay. I know you have something going. Like, what are you doing for spares and extra tools? What are you carrying?
I have a spare tire in my spare tire carrier for the rear bumper, which that rear bumper has been modified. Another hooky bumper I wouldn't recommend. It came with the truck, so I can't complain too much about it, but we have done so many modifications to that bumper swing out. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I seem to remember us. That was a nice open. I seem to remember us sitting on a hill on a trail in Everett, I think, and Alex opening your rear swing out, and then somebody not being able to close it.
Dude, I barely remember that trip because I was so sick.
That was fun. I remember it quite well because you opened it, that thing swung out like crazy, and then we spent the next 20 minutes trying to fix it, and then we just ended up ratchet strapping it.
I think it's still ratchet strap.
It is still ratchet strap.
I thought you guys fixed the latch.
No. I bought a latch. I gotta weld it. The latch that came with it is a very integrated latch, and the one part that opens the whole thing bent out of shape, so we can't use it at all.
Man, if only you knew someone who could weld.
Yeah,
I do.
You know, it's almost like we just don't have anyone. You know.
Yeah, almost like part of the Botches crew. There's a designated welder.
Whose welds are pretty okay.
That's all they have to.
Who has been backlogged on other projects besides helping me with my one latch.
Yeah, called Alex's 2 vehicles that he's working on.
Hey. Soon it'll be 3 and a trailer.
Yeah. Well, hey, dude. We wish you the best, Alex, on your 3rd gen. Well, okay, so
3rd gens.
Yes, yeah. So, okay, so Mark, you got what else you got? Do you carry any spare parts with you? Because I know we didn't really talk about this, but I have spare idler pulleys, my old ones, and a spare old belt. But I don't have anything else really, honestly, right now.
I really don't have anything. The only thing I got currently for spares are CV axle seals. One, because one of them is actually leaking, which I really should take care of sooner than later.
Eventually, we'll get to it.
Yeah, I mean, I should have CVs, or at least a CV, maybe some tie rods.
Speaking of CVs, can you guys share CVs?
I wanted to say yes. Me and him are very similar, I think.
What year's yours again?
2014.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, Alex, why don't you look that up and you let us know, because maybe one of us will get a
looking
CV
up right now,
and we'll just trade off on it. One of us will get a CV, one of us will get an alternator.
Yeah, because I want to say that almost, because I think the last Tacoma we were able to share parts between me and Alex originally.
Yeah,
but I think it was just CV axles, I thought at the time, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So, did we tackle everything pretty much on the outside of your rig? Is there anything else that I forgot on the outside?
Well, what happened to the black truck?
Oh,
well,
yeah. Let's talk about the black truck. What happened to that? So I think it was beginning of last December. I actually was originally the truck was in the shop for almost a month because I hit a deer. Body checked the deer, to be more specific. Luckily, that was just a driver's side fender. So it was out for a while because of that. And then got it back. Had to replace all my front suspension. Did all that and brakes. And decided to splurge a little and bought a roof rack to go on it. Probably didn't need it, but I wanted it.
Man, it looks
and
good,
then want to say drove it for 3 weeks. Went to work. It was cold, not really snowing. And the ground didn't look like it, but there was a patch of black ice getting on the highway, hit it. Was going sideways, driver's side to the ditch, and my plan was hopefully just to drive in the ditch and come right back out, or drive out of the ditch after we stop moving. Sadly, I managed to pop it off from the driver's side and rolled it.
Rip.
Yep.
Rest in peace, little buggy.
Yes.
I mean, I'll say it was kind of cool the way that the roof rack didn't really fold too much, and it kind of kept the roof flat.
Yeah.
Should have just chopped the roof, man. Make it into a convertible.
They wouldn't sell it back to him.
They wouldn't sell it back to me.
Bunch of weenies.
Right?
But that's insurance companies for you, dude. They are the modern day crooks and pirates. They just rob you for everything you got. Well, that sucks. So at least you got this one out of it. And and honestly, I never saw your black one before, but when I saw this one, I thought this one was pretty damn cool looking from the start. So it sounds like you got a pretty cool thing, rig just starting out, with 5100s front rear bumper out of it. That's not bad to start with, really.
Well, yeah, that was my plan when I bought the new one. Was I had to get something that was partially built. It had to be fully built because I looked at there's a Tacoma over Wisconsin that was fully built out, Overland, everything. Issue was it was just a matter of going over there to see if I could get approved for financing for that one.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a gamble to even do that one.
Yeah, that's true. No, this one's nice. So,
yeah.
I mean, do you have any plans for anything else you're going to do to it? Are you going to do another rack on top or what?
I'm planning on at least putting another roof rack on. It won't be the same one as last time. This one's going to be a low profile one. Okay. The other one had it stood up like 2 to 4 inches, and then it had a whole basket that was almost as big or even bigger than the actual roof was.
Oh shit. Okay. Are you going to run anything on the rack? Are you going to do Pelicans or?
I'm thinking of just using the rack when I need it.
Okay.
My idea was to eventually get kayaks and throw up a kayak when I want to go out kayaking with it.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think for me, I do a lot of my spare tools or parts up on my rack, and I'm gonna be really sorely missing that once I actually switch to rooftop. So there's
Our we plan on moving most of that stuff to the trailer though.
yeah.
You know, the way that we camp generally, obviously it would change if we're going to do like the actual overlanding thing, but we usually go to a site and that's base camp. So it'd be nice to have a trailer that can get there, and then we just drop everything and we got all our tools. Because we're talking, we want to do full toolboxes with, you know, every tool, just like if you were in the garage, every tool you could possibly need would be there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mark, are you gonna do any kind of like cap or anything on it? Or are you gonna leave it just the bed?
It came with a cap.
Yeah.
It had rails that stuck out a little bit. The first week, literally, like I think like the weekend or the weekend after buying it, we went up to Everett the first time. And I was yanking the cap off because of the cross supports that they had up there. Yeah, the roof rack. Thank you.
Wow. I was gonna say, man, I've seen some really low profile racks that kind of you have the one on the roof of the cab, and then it goes back on the cap itself, and man, those things look really nice on Tacomas. But
yeah, I think it would have been fine if it was like that, but these ones, they stuck up like 2 or 3 inches, and they stuck out 4 inches stuck 4 inches wider past the actual cap profile.
Yeah, that's got to go. It's just you're just grabbing stuff by then.
Yep. And then so we ended up taking those rails off and ran with the cap for a little bit. Because originally I was thinking of camping out of in the black one. Originally that was a 6-foot bed one.
Yeah.
So my plans was to camp out of the bed of that truck originally. I was debating about doing it with this one, and then I declared that this bed's 5 foot, so it's 6 foot shorter.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was crawled up in there with the cap on, and it's the one that shares the same height as my truck roof line.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, I don't feel like climbing in and out of this truck bed. So I'm like, well, cap going.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, okay, so bringing into that, I mean, I guess speaking of that, then, so what are you doing for camping then? I know that you don't have a roof rack, obviously, but for a rooftop tent, but I'm assuming you're tent camping, right?
Yes, tent camping, which I just got today. We are good on tent for the weekend.
Good. Are you running any systems for sleeping or anything like that?
Borrowing Alex's cot. I gotta get my own eventually, and then I ended up just buying a new three system sleeping bag that the Army uses.
I was like the standard Army sleep system, cold weather, warm weather, it's all included.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that works out for you. I know for me, we're tent camping with my family, and probably going to need a heater just to warm the air. So it'll be cool to see your review on it and then Kaylin's review on it, because I think she's going to be the one using yours. So I want to see how she does in that.
And I get to sleep in one of the old school Army mummy bags. That'll be interesting.
We should just buy some damn bedrolls and lay them out by the fire and sleep out by the fire. Stay warm, dude. That's what I'm like. You just got to rotate like at one of those hot dogs at 7-Eleven. Keep your shit hot.
We'll just take the rock from the fire ring and just put them in the bottoms of our sleeping bags.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Or rocks.
I mean, I know hot rocks have been used before, but my luck, I'd take that thing and it would just cook me alive at night. But no,
I mean, hey, that would be, we all get a nice dinner or breakfast.
Yeah, you're getting a leg, you get an ankle.
We'd have some gaff and roast.
Yeah, there's plenty to go around, man. It's like it'd be like that cheap bacon you get from Meijer, where you have like 1% meat and the rest is fat. That's what you're getting. You'll be able to harvest my blubber like a seal, and you could make shit out of that. Sell that on the black market.
I mean, hey, that could be our lamp oil, man. We need something to power the
Yeah,
lamp.
I know. There you go. Lamp oil, protein for the dogs. Like, yeah, you'll be set either way. But hey, man, that's cool. So, okay, so we got your outside, we got your plans for it, and what about interior? Are you doing anything for comms, for navigation? I haven't actually been inside of your truck, so I don't know what you're running for nav.
So currently my navigation is my phone. I like to get a Joy, I think it's Joy or Joining head unit.
Mm-hmm.
And that way I can run navigation off of that, mostly trail maps off of that more than anything.
And Meshtastic.
And Meshtastic, which is another part of it. Which on that note, I gotta come up with I gotta buy a third brake light system that I saw, and you can mount antennas and stuff to it. I want to run my Meshtastic antenna out to that.
Oh, okay.
And then currently for comms, and probably the finalization of it, because I could be one more thing I get, but I don't know if I want to get that yet. But right now for comms, I'm running a Midland 275. I hardwire that to my battery. That currently sits in my center console in a little dead space, as I call it, because it's literally the perfect size for it. Plumb all the wiring out and through my transmission tunnel. And then I got a Cat 5 cable connection port up in one of my cigarette areas. I would declare that I really don't need cigarette lighters. So I decided to replace one of those with Cat 5, and then the other one I wanted to replace that other cigarette lighter for a 4-way charger port. But and then I have a external speaker that sits in one of my sunglass holders I used to have, and then that's plumbed down my A-pillar, or from the roof line to the A-pillar, and then underneath my steering wheel to the transmission.
So that's running. That's in the ceiling though, right? Where your sunglass holder was. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
I did that same.
Seen that yet?
Yeah, I did that same setup in the last Tacoma as well. But I had all my comms in the very back for that one, for the black one.
Yeah. I was going to mention too that I've just found out that my head unit navigation, I don't know, I almost wish that I still had a tablet as well so that I could point it towards me, because my head unit is sitting where head units sit, and it's just not necessarily the easiest thing to see. And I almost wish that I had another tablet and what are they, X mounts or something like that, so that I could run that and see it a little bit better. Because it's not super hard, but it's almost like a preference. It almost would be easier to see.
Kind of like how I have my A7 mounted in my truck.
Yeah. It would be nice to have all three, but I really shouldn't be too picky about it. I don't need to stare at all of it. I end up just driving off the trail at that point. But
yeah,
okay.
I don't think I could go with another touchscreen radio. I actually would prefer to have a stock radio if I could quit having them break on me. But I like having the external tablet, because then even if because I don't carry my phone when I'm camping generally, so I take pictures with an actual camera. So it's nice to have the tablet to pull pictures off and review them when we're sitting at the campfire.
Tablet's cool too, because then you can actually sit out by the campfire with the tablet, plan out routes and stuff with it too, or look at potential routes, potential trails for the next day, scout out campsites. So I've definitely been seeing the pros of having a small tablet, and maybe I will be getting one soon. But
the thing that sucks though is in the small tablet market, you've got like the Galaxy A7 Lite or the iPad Mini, and that's like it.
Mm-hmm.
There's really, back in the day, we had the Nexus 7. We had a lot of options in like 8-inch tablet market, and just today they're all phased out for 10.1 or 12-inch tablets.
Yeah, I think that's what my wife is like a 12, and I don't like how massive it is, but I will say that if I added like a hand, one of those like hand bands or whatever on the back, so that I could hold it a little bit better, I think I could do with it. It's so much smoother than some of those cheaper tablets that you can get, the operating system and everything. So I don't know. I might switch to that. Maybe I'll just steal hers when we're out overlanding, because that would probably, honestly, it would make the most sense. But
I really like the A7 because it's fluid enough. It works well enough. It just sucks that it's really your only 8-inch option. And in a truck like the 3rd Gen 4Runner that's, very small, it's kind of nice not having your entire dash being taken up by a tablet.
Yeah, and it's important for me. I don't know that I have the patience to deal with something that lags even a little bit, like even a millisecond. Sometimes for me, my patience on technology doing that makes me want to skip it across the lake like a skipping stone. But other than that, I mean, so I don't know. I might stay with one of the newer tablets, and maybe I'll just keep the system I have for now. I know that's going to be all next year activities, but well, cool. So we got your outer, you got your inner. We got some of the plans that you have on there. Other than that, man, I guess some of the bigger questions is what got you started in the first place. Like, what got you into off-roading? Did you start out camping when you were younger, like I think most of us did, or did it kind of come in from what YouTube or friends?
I didn't do a lot of camping when I was little, but YouTube did impact me a little bit. I think they called it, I'm trying to remember what they originally called the channel, but it was a venture channel by Meatwagon and Guns. They did Minecraft videos originally, but then they decided to do their own outdoor adventures. And Meatwagon, as he called him, I don't remember his actual name, was building his Jeep Wrangler. I don't remember if it was a Rubicon or not. It was a 4-door. But he built it out for going out camping. He had an Overland tent and everything, and he was working on other trucks. Got me interested at the time. And because of that, every time I bought my previous trucks, between the Dakota, my Ram that I used to have, and the Tacoma, and any other vehicle I was looking at, I literally made a list of what all mods I can do to the truck for overlanding or any version of off-roading to begin with. So that way I had a plan out of what I could or could not do to any vehicle I wanted to look at. So it was kind of fun.
I find the name of that channel.
It's probably gone now.
Probably.
I'm trying to remember the actual adventure channel, but I know it was like Meatwagon 22. I think was his Minecraft channel originally.
Yeah, I can find
but
that.
But they did another one.
I just can't find the adventure channel.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was called.
Honestly, that's probably one of the better origin stories that I've seen with overlanding, to be honest. I mean, YouTube is such a big part of it too, though. Is like, I mean, when I started, I was looking at what kind of car camping that I could do inside of the FJ, and then found overlanding. So, and we found that on YouTube. So that was kind of how I got started too. And YouTube has got so big now that it has influenced us. I mean, crazy. It's kind of daunting.
Man, when I started, your options for off-roading YouTube were like, Roadkill did an episode where they had a Jeep that was slammed, and I think they drove it in the Arizona desert, but like that was it, man. YouTube was pretty young back then too, so it really this whole off-road YouTube market didn't quite exist back then.
No,
yeah, you started like a long time ago, though. Which is crazy because you're like my age, so it seems like you started like years ago and you're older, but you're not.
Yeah. I mean, it helps that my dad wheeled a little bit, so
Right.
it kind of been doing it my whole life,
Yeah, I mean, I don't count like my stepdad did it in his Wrangler, but I think at that time I was more interested at being on the ground and like going out in the woods and hiking and all that. The last thing that I wanted to do was sit in the back of that Jeep at that time because
See,
that was not fun for me.
I learned how to drive manual on that Jeep, and I was probably 9.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've been driving it and playing with it since I was 9. It kind of really sculpted me to love Jeeps, and then I bought a Toyota.
Never going back.
Yeah, no, but last year the itch really got me going when we went camping. Was it Memorial Day?
I think it was. Is that when you got going, or when we went and did Tin Cup with the Trailhawk and the 4Runner?
Oh, that did too, but mostly the other one because we just still didn't have my rig yet, and we went camping and took the Trailhawk, and then that one really set me into motion to actually get a dedicated vehicle for off-roading.
I think that was Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were sitting around the fire looking for trucks.
Yeah.
What'd you do then? What were you? I don't know. I wasn't there. That time.
I had my Ram 1500, but that was a big old truck and was pretty rotted out.
Yeah.
So we weren't taking that one off-roading. My brother and Alex got their vehicles at the time.
I think we did Little Manistee Loop that time.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that was? I was trying to figure out what Labor Day. Was it the Botches or MST?
It was Botches. That was before
Botches.
We really did anything with MST.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I think the first time I did anything with Botches was what, Everett?
Yes.
No. Well, yeah.
No.
I mean,
Skidder Hill.
And Skidder Hill was before Everett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can't count the roads that we took the one day when you're.
I would say there was that one day I showed you roads that used to be trails.
Yeah, those are just roads at that point. It doesn't really count.
Such a shame what Michigan's doing to our trails, man.
Always. Not even trails anymore. They're just fucking forest roads. If that.
You can take your Prius to Marblehead now, so.
Actually, I know a person with some off-road tires that actually has the skill that could probably do that. Not that it's going to take much skill, but
I know you don't even need skill. It's flat all the way to Marblehead, and then down to the.
JD brought that that off-road Prius, and that would be pretty cool. Just to watch it go up it, take the video, and be like, "Good job, DNR. This is what we get." Not that I'm hating on that Prius. That Prius is fucking sweet.
I like the red one that they had there.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a whole episode on Marblehead. Both the rise and the fall would be cool if we could find like old heads who'd been there, back in like the 90s or the early 2000s, and then all the way to when they bulldozed it this year.
Yeah, that would be fun. But
I don't think fun is the term I would use, but interesting.
Definitely for me it would be fun. It'd be fun to talk to all the old heads about what it used to be like, and because I'm sure it was much different. I remember doing it as a kid, and I remember everybody going to the ledge. So I know that that's changed, and maybe that wasn't supposed to even do it back then. But when earlier 2000s, I remember all of us just sitting there, getting up there, getting all the way to the top, and then running around at the ledge being stupid kids. So that was a fond memory for me, and I was looking forward to always going back to that. So didn't really happen.
Yep. We never went to Drummond when I was a kid. Back then, my mom and dad were more obsessed with horses, so we never did special trips for wheeling. It was always horses. Horses
are fun, man. Those are like the original Overlanders.
I'm trying to get Derek to not not Derek MST Derek, but Jeep Derek something, always something. Derek always something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get him to help me set up a MST horse overlanding trip.
I mean, when I used to trail ride when I was younger, like early high school, my grandmother had a horse, like a boarding facility, and she had competition horses that were just out of competition. They're just getting too old. And I rode the horse named Touchy, and dude, I would overland the shit out of that horse. I probably still could. Like it was like she was like 20 something at that time, and I'm sure she would still be ready for it. She was like, I mean, amazing on the trail. Nothing spooked her. And you know what? I listened to a podcast the other day about these people that were going all around the world, around the world, and they were pretty much winching. They would do like a mile a day, just winching up trail, and it was, oh my gosh.
Was that they're driving a Jeep CJ, right?
Yeah, that was
yeah, I can't remember that girl's name. She did an interview with NewFound Overland.
I was just listening part of it today.
I listened to it last week actually, and I was listening to Benji's podcast with them, and it was Lauren, I think, and I can't remember the girl, but I know Lauren passed away.
Yep.
And he had done many expeditions, or tried to do expeditions before that. He went through a couple different vehicles trying. I know he took a Ford, he took a 2 or 3 CJs or something like that, because one of them he just had to leave. Oh my gosh, dude. The story. Crazy.
Her name's Patty Upton.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, look that up if you guys ever get a chance off of NewFound Overland, because that was a crazy story. And
yeah,
could you imagine?
She had me drawn. We keep talking over each other. She had me drawn right in, man. Like there's not a lot of times when I can just sit and listen to a story and not want to get interrupted at all. But she had me just hooked for the whole hour-long interview.
Yeah. Well, she at one point when their Jeep broke down, I think it was the axle or something, and they had to take to make a raft and float down the river and to the nearest town, and then take a bus, and then take and it's just, things were just done so differently back then. They had to hire a crew to help make trail. Like it's such a cool story to hear, because it's so different from how we do things nowadays. Navigation and calling for help. I mean, calling for help for them was them walking miles to find anyone who could, take them to a town or help them. They were taking wagons out. I mean, or donkeys, sorry. And so it's just, it was very cool. And it kind of opened your eyes to how long people have been trying to do this and what you can do.
I think it's crazy looking, they had an entire support staff of, I think she said like 20 to 30 guys just cutting a trail for them to get this one itty bitty little CJ5 through the Berrien Gap or whatever.
Yeah. Darien Gap or something like that. Darrin or something like that.
Yeah, it might be Darien Gap. You might be right. Yeah, the Darien Gap.
Yep.
Right, it's right it's between North and South America.
Yeah, and she mentioned like pretty much winching all day. They're like, there was points where they weren't even driving. They were just winching all day, getting a mile a day, and that's crazy.
The Darien Gap, it's only like, come on, where's the mileage? It's not all that long, but I think it's 60 miles. But I think she said it took them 3 years to get through the Darien Gap.
Yeah, because there was no trails, there was no roads, so they had to make their own for the most part. And you making your own trails, you're using a winch from the 80s. Man, that winch, by the way, I can't remember what she said, what brand that was, but man,
it was I'm pretty sure it was powered by powered by the Jeep. It wasn't electric.
Yeah, it couldn't have been, dude. I'm pretty sure it was too. Because that was an older Jeep anyway, right? From the 70s, or it was a 69 or something.
Yeah, I think it was like a 69.
And then I think it was Lauren. He chopped the roof and added like 4 inches to the top because he was 6'4". Just nuts, dude. Just crazy. Not to get super off subject on your truck, Mark, and overlanding
we're
in
good.
general.
We're good.
Since we're talking about inspiration here and what really gets people into it, hearing that story for me, that was crazy. So
Patty's story, like I said, it's one of the few stories that just drew me in. I was just hooked, man. Like, it was so fun to listen to.
Yeah. But I guess moving forward now, since we've talked about a pretty good portion of your Tacoma, anything that you are planning on doing the rest of this year, upgrades wise to it, and then any future trips you're doing this year?
I'm thinking of actually getting my air compressor all hooked up. I'm planning on not plumbing, but getting that all set up behind my back seat. I gotta get an air tank for it. And then just hook that all up. And then I like to get a molly panel that sits back there as well. You have something, Alex?
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
I just saw something, so I was making sure you didn't need anything. But I want to get molly panels put up in the back seat as well. I'm trying to decide if a pack out, because I discovered there's a pack out system that hooks up to the molly panel. I'm just not sure what I want to put there will clear my air compressor and stuff if I have that all set up. So I got to figure out that.
Are you going to do an external tank?
It'll be inside the cab, but yes.
Mm.
Yep.
Because
what do we decide on?
Back...
A 5-gallon tank would be good for that?
I thought we said 2.
Either way.
I was just going to get something that could fit back there.
This lag is really killing us.
Okay. That's what's going on?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, okay. Future trips. Anything you're doing the rest of the year? I know tomorrow we have our big Botches thing that we're doing tomorrow. Me and Alex are heading out. You guys are heading out later, right?
Yep. I can't think of anything major for the rest of this year. I know we're getting winter time, so it's kind of hard to start doing stuff like new trails and stuff out being. Do I really want to be out in the cold today or no?
Yeah, I feel that. I probably won't do any winter camping this year. We're just not set up for it the way that I would be comfortable doing it with my son. But I know next year, if everything goes to plan, we will be completely set up for winter camping. I don't have a cold sleeping system other than my sleeping bags and tent. And my plan is rooftop tent with a diesel heater, because from what I'm hearing, diesel heaters have a drier heat, so that tends to not give as much condensation in your tents. So
yep,
that's the plan for me. Do you plan on doing anything for winter camping, or do you think you're just going to take winters off to pay off the debt from the summer? Because I can tell you right now, I'm taking this winter off to pretty much pay off the debt that I just accrued this summer.
As of right now, I haven't decided about winter camping this year. Definitely not. I'm trying to decide about future endeavors.
It's hard to get, like, for me, it's hard to get the motivation to want to do winter camping sometimes. It's cold, man, and we're starting to get older. And if you don't have something dedicated or set up like that, and your winter, like you don't have a hot tent and a wood stove and all that, then man, it can be rough. And you start to wonder, like, is this worth it? Is this even fun anymore? Or am I just coming out here because I know I should? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be working all winter out in this stuff anyway. So it's kind of hard to, let me go out this weekend, go camping in the middle of winter, even though I've been out in it all week.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Army made me do enough winter camping that there's no way I'd just decide to go out and do that.
Yeah, with your achy bones, I probably wouldn't either.
But, plus I work on a farm, so I am literally in the cold all day, every day, all winter long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that pretty much covers everything. We got our futures, we got our past, we got our rigs, what we're doing to it. We got really off topic, so that was hey, no, that was good, and it's good to talk about the inspirations and what got us into it in the first place. So,
yep.
But we talked about off-roading. So was it really off topic?
No, it was all things off-roading, man. So I appreciate it, Mark. Thanks for coming in. Thanks, Alex, for joining in, telling us about your rig, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, and right here in the future, I'd like to be able to read off boosts that people send in. I know we don't talk or harp the value for value thing too often, but we'd really like it if you guys, looked up value for value and how it all works. It's really a cool system. You can stream sat, so the whole time you're listening, you're sending micropayments. You can send in larger boosts with messages that, maybe tell us we're doing a good job, or maybe tell us we're doing a god-awful job. I don't know. But just, it'd be really cool to have some community involvement. I know we're just getting started and we can't expect that yet, but we really would like it if you guys could, learn about the value for value system and at least know what it is. But yeah, on that note, have a good day. Man, that was a terrible ending.
I thought I ended it, and then you started, and I was like, shit.
All right, one second. On that note, have a good day.
Later.